We are in the middle of summer now, and I'm sure a lot of you, like me, got shredded for summer. Or if you didn't, you were at least thinking of how you can join in next year. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have put a huge amount of effort when it comes to dieting and training to get that dream physique. But how do you actually keep those gains and keep the fats off your body? Well, in this video, I'll be breaking down exactly what I did after my bodybuilding competition back in May, and how over 8 weeks, I've not only stayed at a similar body fat percentage, but increased my calories by 400 without gaining much fat and building a ton of size and strength throughout the process. I'm also going to walk you through the week by week numbers, the common mistakes I see people make with this, and exactly how I avoid binge eating throughout this whole time. So let's get started. So I want you to imagine this. You just finished dieting and months eating at a deficit, and the second it's over, you go back to eating like how you were eating before. Your body's basically running on low fuel for months. So when you suddenly hand it a full tank at once, it doesn't know what to actually do with it. Some of it gets stored as fats, some of it gets stored as water in your muscles, but some of it might actually make you stand in front of a fridge at 11 p.m. eating everything in sight, because your body has been starved for food for so long. So instead of going straight back to your old eating habits, what if you slowly added more food over time to give your body the time to actually catch up to the change, instead of dumping everything all at once? This process is called reverse dieting, which basically means you're deliberately increasing your calories over time to get back to maintenance. And this whole process is done on purpose. And I get this question a lot. So why not just go straight back into maintenance? Well, you can, but these are 3 real reasons. First, you're gonna see a huge spike in your weight because your body's been running on a deficit for so long. And when you suddenly increase the food, a big chunk of what you see is actually not fat. It's just water and glycogen refilling in your muscles. But psychologically, most people don't know that. And they focus too much on the weight. And they see the number and they just panic. And they go straight back into their diet. And you can see how this full cycle can spiral out of control. Number 2, after months of restriction and you go straight back to normal, it's so easy to binge eat because your body's been underfed for so long. And when you start to let loose, it's so easy to eat everything that you see. And that's actually what happened 2 years ago when I finished my first ever bodybuilding competition. I gained a ton of weight. And number 3, not a lot of people talk about this, but you don't actually know for sure what your new maintenance is yet, because your metabolism adapts to being at a deficit for months. Your hormones, your energy expenditure, and even how efficiently you digested food shifts when you're at a cut. And yes, the difference might not be that big, but you're not going to know for certain exactly what your maintenance is. And there's a mental side to all of this. And honestly, I think it matters more than the actual physical side, because even though you're still technically at a deficit for the first few weeks when you do a reverse diet, it doesn't really feel that way, because every single week the number will start going up because you're adding a bit more food every single week. So let's actually see this in practice and have a look at what my reverse diet looks like. Alright, so over the past 8 weeks, I gained 3.5 kg in total, and you can see my body fat didn't actually change that much. My calories went up from 2,450 to 2,850, and my weight started plateauing at 67.8. Honestly, this reverse diet has been one of the most successful things I've done, and the amount of size and strength I've built over these 8 weeks has been pretty crazy. Just a disclaimer though, this is what worked for me at my body weight, my body fat percentage, and my goals. But you can use these information to tweak yours based on your body weight and goals. But I actually wanted to show you the process instead of just looking at the before and after, because I think this is where most people are scared of reverse dieting, because they don't know what the week in, week out looks like. Alright, so week 1, I started at 2,450 calories, 210 carbs, 200 grams protein, and 90 grams of fat with no cardio. This week was the first week, so I went from 63 to 64.3 kg, which does feel like a big jump out of the gate, yes, but a lot of it was actually just water and glycogen. For week 2, we did increase the calories a bit, but there's a reason for it. Because in week 1, you can actually see the jump in weight happened at the first 3 days, and it started plateauing at the end, which is why we started in week 2 buffing up the calories. But you can see from week 2, those 200 extra calories, they're all mainly from carbs. And our weight did move up again to 64.7 kg. And this is what normal reverse dieting is supposed to look like. Your weight is supposed to increase slowly. So for week 3, I decided to add 50 more calories. You can see our carbs went up to 250 grams, and I added some light daily steps, around 6,000 steps, and yeah, my weight started increasing up to 65.2. Now for week 4, this one I do want to talk about a bit more. My calories stayed at 2,650, exact same macros, but my weight did jump quite a bit this week, and we got up to 66.4. And a lot of people might think seeing this, oh, you're at the wrong calories, like you're overeating, you went for cheat meals, all that kind of stuff. But it was actually because of poor sleep and also me being super stressed that week. And for people that don't know, your hormones are actually affected quite a lot after your bodybuilding competitions. And this is also when I went to do my blood test. So more on that in future videos. But this week, it was mainly to do with poor sleep and also just me being very stressed that week. So you can see for week 4, after my sleep did improve, the weight started plateauing again. And because of that, I knew that it was basically because of my sleep. And once I've improved that, in week 5, we actually increased our calories a bit again by 200, which got us up to 2,850. And you can see basically it's all from carbs going up to 300 grams, and my weight actually barely moved at 66.7 kg. And you can see from this, week 4 wasn't a dieting problem at all, because if it really was my food, increasing those calories would have made my weight jump even higher. So for week 6 and week 7, I actually kept the calories the exact same. And you can see here, this is where my weight just slowly progressed. We got up to 67.1 and then we got to 67.5. And by week 8, which was the last week of my reverse dieting, we still kept it at 2,850. And I finished the reverse diet at basically 67.8. And that's where I started to plateau. So comparing it all the way back to week 1, that's a total of 3.5 kg gained. So I'm sure you've noticed, throughout all the weeks, I've only been increasing my carbs. And my carbs actually went up from 210 grams to 300 grams. And the fat stayed pretty much the same at 90 grams. My protein didn't move either, it stayed at 200 grams. But I know what you're thinking. Why is my protein so high? Well, I'll get into that in just a second, but I just want to quickly talk about the carbs first. Here's the reason why I only changed my carbs. My fats were at a very good level to keep my hormones regulated. My protein was already super high at around 3 times my body weight. So the only macro that I could really change is my carbs. And carbs is actually what gives you more energy for your workouts, which is also why you see that I've been gaining strength. And another thing is carbs actually help you store more water in your muscles and refill your glycogen for better workouts. So that's also why you'll see a slow increase in weight as you increase carbs. And throughout the weeks, I've been keeping my pre-workout the same and only really adjusting my post-workout and also adding more carbs for like my other meals. Okay, so why was my protein actually at 200 grams? This is where I want to debunk something. Yes, you only need 2 times your body weight in kilos to really maximize your muscle stimulus growth, but protein isn't just for muscle building. Compared to carbs, for those who don't know, protein and carbs have the exact same calories, right? Both of them are 4 calories per gram. Protein actually keeps you a lot more satiated. And especially when you come out of a reverse diet, it's so easy to binge eat. I can eat so much, and ever since I was young, I can basically stuff myself with 5,000 calories easily. And to avoid what happened 2 years ago, I increased my protein intake just to keep myself satiated. Because eating 100 grams of chicken will fill me up a lot more than just eating, for example, 50 grams of rice. So that is exactly why my protein has been so high. I already have enough carbs for my pre-workout and also throughout the day to make sure that my gym performance is actually good. But besides that, my goal was really to focus on the reverse diet and making sure I don't binge eat until I get back to a decent calorie maintenance where I can afford to go eat out a lot more. So if binge eating is a problem for you, you should give this a try and then let me know how it feels in the comments below. Okay, so now you know what happens every week. How do you actually know when to stop reverse dieting? For me, it was actually very simple. I stopped once my calories got back up to a level where it was similar to where my maintenance was for that body weight, which for me was 68 kg at 2,850 calories. So once I hit that number, I knew this was going to be sustainable long term. And that's actually exactly when I decided to go on a main gaining phase after 1 more week at just staying at that calorie range. So for you guys, once you get into a calorie range that you're happy with and your weight is starting to plateau, that can exactly be your new maintenance. And you can start maybe your bulking phase, your maintenance phase, whatever you'd like. But that's what worked for me, so I'm hoping it also works for you. So now before you go implement all of this, here are some common mistakes that I see a lot of people do. First is increasing your calories way too quick. I see a lot of people, they add 500 calories, which is fine, but that's not really the main point of reverse diet. Reverse diet is slowly adding back your calories, and you want to avoid binge eating. So instead of having 500, I always make sure to keep it at a range of around 100 calories to 200 calories every time I do an update. And this way, your weight will only increase gradually and you won't have to panic about anything. Second common mistake, panicking when you see fluctuation. Now I get it, when you see the weight go up, you might think, oh no, I'm just losing all my progress. Trust the process, try to understand what changed in those weeks that could affect the actual weight difference. Take it from me, for example. Look at week 4. It wasn't because of the diet, but it was because of my sleep. So when you start to look at these changes, try to also keep other factors in mind, like your sleep, your stress levels, your recovery, the external activities that you've been doing those few days. Maybe you did less steps, maybe you did more sports. Those will all affect your fluctuation, and that's normal. But whatever you do not panic, do not go crazy, and go straight back into your diet, because that's when your relationship with food just gets completely destroyed, and I don't want that for you. Okay, number 3, doing a ton more cardio. When you're doing your reverse diet, you should try to keep everything the same as what you've been doing for your diet. For example, if you were doing 30 minutes of cardio every day, then keep doing those 30 minutes of cardio in your reverse diet. Don't try to purposely increase your cardio just to compensate the extra food that you're having. That defeats the whole purpose of the reverse diet, because you're trying to gradually get back into maintenance calories and not stay at the deficit. So try to keep everything constant, keep your cardio the same, keep your steps the same. That way the data that you see out of your reverse diet will be way more consistent. So if you're trying to keep your progress after months and months of dieting, try giving reverse dieting a try. There's a shorts playlist I did. I'll link it up somewhere here. But you can see from those videos the exact change that I did every single week. So if you're interested, you can watch those for a deeper breakdown throughout the weeks. But I hope this helps. Let me know if you like this kind of video, and let me know if you have any other questions in the comments below. And also let me know what other videos you want to see next. But that's it for now, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace!